But let's get stuck in. Prince Harry, he's consulted former aides about a possible partial return to the UK as he seeks to repair his public image, that is according to the Daily Mail.
Who wants him? I'm sorry. This is, of course, he's got his book Spare. The paperback comes out later this year. Now, he's not updating it, but he'll want to promote it.
Yeah, absolutely.
He says he's not doing any interviews, but we're talking about him now, we're talking about Spare.
Yeah.
And is he going to come back with his wife? What about the children? Because apparently it's not safe for his wife and children in this country, according to Harry, even though he took his wife to Colombia, which is much less safe than Britain, in my view.
It's absurd. And anyway, he was able to attend his uncle's funeral quite easily.
He did.
Nobody knew he was coming. He said he wasn't, and then he did. And he was perfectly safe.
And he would have had the same security as every other member of the royal family who attended that event.
Yeah.
But, of course, he didn't speak to his brother at the funeral.
No, he wouldn't, would he?
So if he's trying to fix it, honestly, a funeral is where you should put all differences aside because it's not about you, it's about respect to the person, the family of the person who's gone, which was his uncle. It was Diana's sister's husband had died. So, yet they didn't speak. They didn't speak in the church, they didn't speak when they left the church. Incredible, isn't it?
It's awful because that moment is when you realise that we are all mortal. And at that point, all other things should transcend that, but not...
Well, this move is being branded as Operation Bring Harry In From the Cold, because apparently he's a bit fed up with his life in Montecito. Does that mean with his wife?
I don't know.
Oh, no. Apparently he's dissatisfied with advice from his American-based image expert. Well,
they've had about 10 of them, haven't they? They're on to their number 11. Joining us now, royal biographer Angela Levin. Angela, lovely to see you this morning. Good morning.
Yeah, very nice to see you both.
Operation Bring Harry In From the Cold. Firstly, is there any truth to this? Because we do hear lots of things and then some of them may not be true. It's in the Daily Mail, very reputable newspaper. But what are your sources? Where have you heard this?
Well,
the headline here is explosive. Meghan Markle deeply regrets her behaviour toward the royals. In this breakdown, I'll dissect each segment, expose the narrative tactics, and ask, is this real remorse or another media spectacle? Let's begin. Before jumping into the claims, here's the backdrop. Meghan Markle's relationship with the royal family has been fraught from public criticism, media exposés, to her own memoir. The phrase behaviour toward the royals could refer to one or many of those flashpoints. In a media landscape hungry for drama, the idea of regret is a powerful bait. But how much of this is substantiated? Early in the video, the narrator proclaims, Meghan deeply regrets her past behaviour. Note the intensifier deeply, it amplifies the emotional weight. The visual choices might include somber music, close-ups of Meghan, maybe quotes or clips suggesting introspection. The message, she's remorseful, and the much too late tagline suggests a gap that the regret comes after the damage is done. The video then presents its supporting incidents, perhaps her remarks in interviews, conflicts with royal protocols, or perceived betrayals. Each one is framed as something she now regrets. The editing may replay those moments, overlaying regretful music or text captions to reinforce the idea of remorse. As the narrative builds, the video may put clips of Meghan looking reflective beside archival footage of royal family moments, or contrasting her earlier tone with more subdued imagery.
I have several things. It's exactly what it is. It's a nonsense because it's never going to be cosy. A man of his age who attacked his father and his brother and his sister-in-law so horrendously isn't suddenly going to change how he is and be Mr. Sweetie. He's just not. He said that they're trapped. And does he want to be trapped? Of course not. I think the reason he's doing it is, one, he's got more chance of 24/7 protection. He's taking the government to court for the third time, and he's desperately after that. He's a very, very determined man now. He was much more free and easy when I knew him and spent time with him. But now he's very determined. He won't give away. So that's one. Number two, he'll want a property, and that will mean he's back on the Councillor of State. So if the king is not well or needs help, and there's forms to be filled out and documents to be looked at, he could be doing one of that. That means he's back in the line. Can't have that. He's also got, I'm sure he'll use what he hears and what he sees to earn money for other things that he's doing. If he really cared, with his new book, with his book coming out in paperback, I think he could say to the publishers, I want all these awful things that I've said out. The whole point of having a paperback is that you can correct any mistakes. So he should actually ask for the whole lot to be taken out, all the insults, all the dangers that he killed X number of people when he was fighting for the country. There's plenty of things he could do. He's not going to do anything. This is all a game. This is all nonsense. And I think that we've got to be very, very careful. And I hope that the royal family are very, very careful too. The king loves him. Of course he does. It's his son. But he will drive him absolute crazy. He's got to be very careful that he doesn't get too much stress. But Harry's going to want and want and want. What you said about Meghan, she's not going to come, except if she could take some of the jobs that Catherine has. She's very jealous of her. So she would come over if she had a big house, lots of money. She once complained that she thought it was shocking that they weren't paid for each thing that they did. When she was in Australia, she was saying, you know, aren't they paying us for this? This is terrible. And I think that would be a disaster as well. As for the children, they don't seem to be important about schooling or whether it be half and half. But what Harry can't do, the late Queen was absolutely determined about, is being half in and half out. And I think they've just got to stop him in any possible way. It really upsets me and makes me very nervous that he would put on a pretense that he's a victim and want to come back. And he's not a victim. He's become very, very unpleasant about what he does.
I think that the nub is there, what you said, Angela, about half in and half out, which is to quote the late Queen, because, of course, if he did come back and was here part of the year, he can't then be back in America earning money from commercial ventures. He's either got to be on the civil list like the other royals and become a full-time working royal or not, and he's clearly not willing to do that. So, yet again, it seems he wants the best of both worlds here.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what he's like now, you see. He wants the best of it, and he can see there's a chance to get it because Prince William is very, very busy, lots on his mind and things he has to do. His wife's not well, so there's a sort of... they could necessarily take advantage of that. The king is obviously doing his very best, but he gets tired, and they can take advantage of that too. And I think that it's just got to say, look, Harry, you've lost the plot, and we're not having people telling us what to do. If Harry was really wanting to do it, he's nearly 40. You say to your father, I'm so sorry, please forgive me, forgive me, forgive me. But he won't do that. He'll want apologies, and he'll want money, and he'll want super security.
The soundtrack might soften, the cuts slow, emphasizing sorrow or pensiveness. This juxtaposition is powerful. It nudges you to feel regret along with the narrative. Then comes the phrase, much too late. It implies that damage is done, trust cannot be restored, consequences are permanent. The video positions her regret not just as belated, but ineffective. The viewer is urged to see this as a redemption arc that may be too late to matter. In conclusion, the video reaffirms, Meghan deeply regrets her behavior, but that regret comes too late. The tone suggests she's lost her standing, and maybe her path to reconciliation is closed. The final frame often invites viewers to judge, is this her redemption or her downfall? So, is Meghan's regret real or manufactured by media narratives? The video makes a compelling emotional case, but much depends on inference and presentation rather than direct source statements. I believe it's possible she feels remorse on some level, but whether it's deep or timed for image recalibration is uncertain. Viewers, always check original interviews, look for corroborated sources, and be cautious when narratives hinge on dramatized regret. What's your verdict, sincere introspection or strategic messaging? Drop your thoughts in the comments.
But look, Harry might argue that actually he wants to rebuild bridges with his parents, and actually you never know. But he might be being genuine. Let's just imagine that he might be. Meghan might also say that actually she was treated unfairly by the press and not equal in the same way as Catherine. That's what they might argue. I don't believe a word of it, actually, if I'm totally honest with you. But I must present the other side of the argument, just because there may be a shred of truth in that he wants to rebuild bridges. Or do you think they're just basically running out of money?
Well, their money would be very useful. Yes, he'll ask his father for money because his father's got a load of money, and he'll try to get money out of him. But I understand, Nana, that you want to give both sides. But actually, if you really analyse how they've been, you can't just suddenly change and be a different person. You just can't. It's not possible. He can go from being lovely. He was lovely when I saw him. He was terrific. You can go downhill because if somebody is bringing out the worst in you, that's what happens to you. But there's no way he's going to come back and be wonderful. There's too much.
I didn't go that far.
Yeah.
I feel it very strongly.
Yeah, and I was thinking, though, if the mere idea that he's thinking this could be a possibility, it would be a terrible repudiation of Project Meghan, which was to extricate her husband from Britain, from the royal family, and get him full-time in America. It would appear that Project Meghan has failed because we can't see where the money's coming from. Now, what the couple are going to do, she's launched a pot of jam or something, hasn't she?
American Riviera
Orchard, which doesn't appear to have done much either. So has Project Meghan unravelled?
I think it has, actually. The thing is, Meghan doesn't know why people don't like her, don't want to do things to her. She's not sensitive about that, and she doesn't understand that people don't want to be told what to do when they're skilled in that area. This goes for everyone, a chef, a CEO, for her cooking deal. And they all retire. The chef went because she would be watching over him and looking at every single thing and telling him what she does. Well, you can't have a top chef like that. It's very good to get a top chef, but they don't want that. The same as there's another person who's resigned today. So it just goes on because they can't stand it. I think they're used to a certain amount of telling what they want. But actually, it's just that Meghan does think. Well, she always calls herself a global something or other. You see, she's not. That's one of the huge reasons why she's not interested in the UK. But I think she needs help to explain why people don't like her.
Well, she's just lost another head of PR, as you said. They've lost another staff man. Remember, that person's gone. They were with them for a short time. This does sort of look quite bad.
Pattern of behaviour.
Because everybody seems to leave them after spending a very short period of time with them.
Very short. Now, if you look at the real monarchy, they're there for 20, 30 years. And that because they're treated like one of the family. When I was doing his biography, they all said they were treated like family. They had to work hard. They don't get much money, but they were treated like family. And Meghan doesn't do anything like that. And they won't be shouted at and screamed at. Why should they? Why should anybody?
Angela, always lovely to talk to you. That's Angela Levin, biographer of Prince Harry. Up next.